gonna sugarcoat it. Had a couple little health issues and, you know, personal issues that made me go a little AWOL. You know, went out to go get the milk and just never came back. I'm here now though, and I got some good news. Nothing's happened. The SCP F350 project, it's dusty and rusty. The 09 Vic, the GTA 6 Crown Vic, it's falling apart. And the Track Vic, it's just, that's its own mess of its own. Now, what are we doing today? We are going to go to a police department in New Hampton, New Hampshire to pick up a lot of stuff that I had purchased during a police auction, right? Now, I only know of a handful of things that are in this auction. Like a trunk organizer, maybe a switch box or two, a measuring tape, that's about it. I gotta find parking here, because I'm at the town hall now. We are back out on the road again. We are heading home, which if I were just to drive straight home, that is an 8-hour drive. But with the pit stops I gotta make along the way, we are looking probably 12. Now with that being said, I got everything crammed in here. I feel like a sardine in a sardine can though, but everything is in here. We didn't have to rent a U-Haul truck. We didn't have to bring that 350 out. We managed to pack everything into this little Focus. Now, I was totally expecting that I was gonna have to strap stuff to the truck. Now, what do I mean by that? I brought 3 plastic milk crates and like 4,000-pound work limit straps and 4 500-pound work limit straps and 2 rubber mats that I was totally prepared to strap to the trunk and put some of this stuff in and drive home with it on the trunk. Now, luckily, it wasn't that much stuff to where I needed to do that. But with that being said, those 3 milk crates and straps and mats are taking up space in my trunk that I could have stuck the console behind my head in, and I could have been able to lean back a little bit more and have a little bit more of a more comfortable ride. But it is what it is. Would rather be more prepared than unprepared. It just means I'm sacrificing a little bit of comfort, which no big deal, I'll live. Been through worse. Now, along the way home, like I said, we're looking at a 12-hour drive. It would be 8 hours if I was driving a Prius. I am not in a Prius, I am in a Focus. I get 30 miles to the gallon, not 50. With that being said, I gotta make at least 2 pit stops along the way home. Technically 1, because a lot of the stuff is in 1 pit stop. So I gotta stop for gas, gotta stop for food. Those are the 2 priorities. Stopping for gas and then lunch/dinner. Now, I can stop in Spencer, Massachusetts at McDonald's, where my one friend works. I know people there. But stop there, get some nuggies or McChickens, eat them, stop at the gas station nearby, say howdy to my friend, head out from there. And then from there, if I don't stop again on the way home, I should be able to make it all the way back to my doorstep of my apartment with 1 tank of gas. Now, with that being said, I also might be visiting a friend on the way home though. Now, if that happens, he lives in northern New Jersey. I forget if it's Hackensack or Union or Newark, or it's somewhere there. If I gotta visit him, which he said he gets off at 5, then I'm going to need to stop again for gas, probably in Easton, which no big deal, just an extra 40 bucks. It just adds to the expense that I gotta subtract from at the end of the trip here, because once I go through all this junk, we're gonna see what we would make from selling it, what we lost, if we lost anything, the cost of the trip. We're gonna do a full price breakdown when we get back home. Now that probably won't be till tomorrow morning, because when I get home at midnight, I am going to be literally exhausted, and I am probably just going to sleep until probably noon the next day. So, yeah. If anything happens on that looks like a police van. New Hampshire State Police. Ignore that. that looked weird. Anyway, once, I get showered, dressed and everything and over to the storage unit, we will unload everything. I will set up a little table and a camera, and we will go through every box. We will go through every item and see what we got, and we will break it down into 3 categories, right? So we will break it down into...
In 1,000 feet, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto the I-93 South ramp to US 3 Boston.
We will break it down into 3 categories, being a keep pile, a sell pile, and a trash pile. And they're all pretty self-explanatory, right? So keep
At the
is...
right, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto the I-93 South ramp.
She talks way too much. The keep pile will be for stuff that I can use on my projects, being the 09 Vic, 08 Vic, and the F350. A lot of the stuff, from what I've seen, will probably go on the track Vic.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-93 South.
Now, the sell pile is pretty self-explanatory. Anything that I cannot use, I will resell. And there looks like a lot of stuff that I probably will not use that I will resell. Now, the last pile, again, self-explanatory, trash. There's definitely trash here that I did not catch there. And
continue on I-93 South for 6 miles.
It's just going to go in the trash. With that being said, when we go through each item, we will get a price for it, right? And then we'll see what all we got, what all we could sell, and then we'll kind of do the math at the end of the video with what we invested in the trip, what we made back. Did we make it, or did we break, or did we break even? Did we make money? Did we lose money? And was the trip ultimately worth it in the end? With that being said, if anything happens along the way home, it's 10 hours, 12 hours, so something probably will happen. I will hit the record button and I will show y'all. But until then, I will see y'all when we get to the storage unit and we start unloading this mess of stuff. Alright, so voiceover me here. So I decided to do a voiceover for the next part of the video because there was a lot here. I ended up going through this over the course of 3 hours. And a lot of the stuff, I couldn't figure out what it is. It was so old, I'd never seen it before. I couldn't find it on the internet. And a lot of it was just pure trash. There was a lot of odds and ends here, that I could probably end up selling. I just didn't include them. I only picked the stuff that would stand out. Like, for instance, these power supplies. There's only 2 here. I ended up finding 6 of them in total. I was looking them up on eBay. Could sell them for about $20 to $30 each. So we'll say $300 for those. Now this kind of shows you the randomness of the stuff I was finding. I found this old little measuring tape. Now I could use this. Probably won't though, because I have a bunch of measuring tapes as it is. It would just be another one to add to the stack. I also found like Christmas ornaments and just miscellaneous papers and stuff. Like in this bag here, I found a bunch of just miscellaneous lights, right? So these little puck under the mirror lights and these hideaway strobes. I think all these were code 3. Now, I don't know how much I can get for any of this. I didn't look up these. These are kind of stuff I found out the fact that I was editing. Realistically, I could probably get $100 for it all. Now, that one was broken. I will probably end up using these on the track Vic if they're all blue. If they're amber and blue, it might be a little odd. So the track Vic, I'm going to try and do all blue lighting, but we'll get into that at a later time. This one I think was amber, which is making me think it was amber and blue, which I guess maybe New Hampshire is amber and blue, because I found a bunch of light bar covers that were amber and blue. Anyway, this here is one of them little stalker radar units that would go on the dash of a cop car, and usually you would have the antennas that, pick up a car's speed. I found the head unit there and the little controller, the little remote, but I couldn't find the actual antennas that would be used to pick up the speed. So kind of a bummer. I feel like I could clear a decent amount for the complete kit, but even as it stands, I probably could find somebody that would buy that head unit in the controller, and they would gladly put it in their car because everyone that has an ex-cop car wants to look like a cop for some reason. Now, the next item was actually a big ticket item, was this little trunk organizer pack for a Crown Vic. Now, this one came with the, you'll see in a second here, it came with the little plastic things, the little lids that go over top. And it came with a couple extras too. Now, these I've seen go for about $150 to $300. And a lot of them, they don't come with these little like lids. Mine, when I had it, didn't come with one of these little lids. It even came with, like I said, with spares. And you'll see in a second here just how tired I was. Like I'm trying to put the square peg in the round hole, and my brain was just not working at this point in the day. I was so tired still. I was struggling. I'm just keeping this in so you can make fun of me. I was out of it. Like I don't even know what the hell that was. Here we got a interesting little piece. I'm going through some random mess of wires. Like I said, I was looking at everything trying to figure out what it is. More hideaway strobes. This next piece, I didn't look at it thoroughly. Just kind of got a glimpse of it. Got a couple of Whelen ions and looks like a piece of trim. I would like to assume these are both blue, but they could be blue and amber. I didn't look at them very thoroughly and I didn't test them. But to say if they work, could probably clear 20, 30 bucks each. And that's just for the lights. That's not including the trim panel there. Little case probably gets over 10 bucks. Looked like it was used for the radar unit that I had found earlier. Like it's got little slots for like the antennas, little brackets in the actual unit itself, the controller. Like I said, I couldn't find the antennas; they weren't in here. Now this here, but everything else looks like it would fit in this case. Lock. Not sure what vehicle it was out now, but I've never seen one like this. It still probably get 10 bucks for it and could probably just change this out one. I could realistically clear, about 50 bucks for. I've seen it go for 50, 80, but I say 80 because this requires like a special key for instead of a normal handcuff key. Now you could also, I guess, hardwire it, but I still say 50 bucks is really, a fair price for that. Now this next piece here, it's taking me a little bit to move. Again, this is why I decided to cut up, or else we'd be going through 3 hours of commentary. The box says Decatur, and it says High 8 in-car video. I didn't know what it was. I really, for some reason, thought it was another in-car radar unit. But then opening it up, I'm like, what is this? I'm like looking at it, and I'm not thinking right as I'm looking at it. Looking at the wires first. It came with a dash cam, which is what I assumed. There was all these little mirror glue tabs that you would put for a mirror, but it looked like it would go to that. But then it also had this little mount that also looked like it would go under your visor. And looking at it further, it looks like an overhead console with a little playback screen with buttons you could use to record, rewind, fast forward, the ticket light, individual volume knobs, which I thought was interesting. And then that little lockbox area is for that little recorder there. And you would put these little, they look like cassette tapes, but they record video. I don't know if they record audio, but I did end up finding them tapes. So if I could send them out and get the videos from them, maybe we'll try and port them over here and watch some dash cam video from, I would guess, the mid to early 2000s. That I'm going to try and retrofit and fit in the Crown Vic. I just don't know how yet. Now this here, another, I would say, big ticket item. A Code 3, I think it's a light stick. Now this one I think was all amber. I could realistically probably get 150. I've seen them go for 250 to 300. But this one I'll probably end up trying to get the mount, the brackets for it. And I'll probably end up using it in one of the Crown Vics, if not my work truck at work. I'm fighting with the cord here. You can see just in this box, there's just some random stuff, like there's a broken security camera, there's an old blue Whelen strobe. Like stuff like the strobe there, I could resell $5-10. But there was a bunch of them. I think there ended up being like 10 of those. And I don't think you want to see me hunting for 10 individual strobes. You got a whale or a Code 3 Z3. I think it's the brain. This is the little like PA mic that goes to the Code 3 brain there. And then, like I said, more miscellaneous stuff like that blue light I think is to a motorcycle, a seatbelt. And this is what caught my eye because these are rather expensive. It's the actual controller for the Code 3Z3. Then you got these little lights, these little surface lights. You could probably get $20-30 for each of these. There's 4 of them. These, if they're all blue, they'll end up going in the track Vic. If they're amber and blue, it might throw a wrench in things. But if they're all blue, it'll work great on the track Vic. I would just need to get a light bar. And then that controller and everything else there kind of completes the system to where, like I said, I really don't got to buy anything except for a like Code 3 RX 2700 in blue. Now the final item here is this console. I don't know what vehicle it was out of. I definitely don't think it was for a Crown Vic because it's sitting in the SCP Foundation Vic right now. And it fits, but it doesn't fit like how it probably should. It is very tight in between the seats and it does not mount up to the existing brackets that were in there for the old console. It's made out of a weird, almost like ABS plastic. It's got a little locking console there. Now this, I don't know how much you could sell this for. I would imagine a decent amount, but I'm going to be realistic and say 50. As I was looking at it, I think it went to a Taurus or an Explorer because I remember there was trim pieces for it that match up with the charging ports there. But anyway, doing a quick little cost breakdown here, right? So the total cost of the trip was $500. The cost of the lot was $110. But got to count in the fact that I had to go up twice, so it's gas for 2 trips, up, back. Plus I rented a U-Haul for the first trip that I couldn't use, plus a money order. So we'll say realistically, the whole thing was $500. Now breaking out the cost, everything, we ended up making a profit here. Now we could sell the organizer for $150, but I'll keep it. Saves me money. More or less. A lot of stuff I can keep, it saves me money. But if I do end up selling it, these are the prices. The organizer, $150. The Whelen power supplies, $300. Whelen ions, $60. The Gunlock, $50. The Code 3 brain and controller, $200. The Code 3 surface lights, $80. The console, $50. Miscellaneous stuff, notice on the low end, $300. The Code 3 light stick, $150. And that radar head unit, whatever it is, another $50. That brings us up to a total of $1,440. Now, if we round up, we probably could get to $1,500, but we'll stick to $1,450, which then gives me a profit of $900 to $1,000. Now, a lot of the miscellaneous stuff would take a while to sell because not everybody's looking for it. Now, a lot of the other stuff, like I said, the organizer, the Code 3 stuff, I'll end up using that on a project. So I'm not really selling it, but it's still saving me money, which it's still beneficial to me in some way, shape, or form. So I really am still making out at the end of it. Alright, that's about it. So I'll see everybody in the next video, which who knows when that comes out. See y'all.